So, this is the scenario. Would you like to answer the phone as well?
Oh, yes,
We're going to phone you up as Gatetown Signaler. Sorry, as Weatherall Signaler. Okay? So now we're going to do our 3.4.1 checks.
4 bells, so I'm going to make sure that the points are locked in clearly.
Yeah. No other train requires a portion of the route.
Okay, now I can respond back.
So now you can respond, yeah?
And the line clear.
Okay, so you get the line clear. Now, Gatetown, correction, Weatherall now has gone. I'm going to give you train intersection.
So I've got train entry intersection.
Okay.
Pay across the train line.
Okay, so what Weatherall has done now is that they give you train intersection before they cleared their section signal.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
It's locked.
So now we will drop our needle.
So he's going to call me first.
Yeah, but if we dropped our needle now
Yeah.
and just went, okay, that we wouldn't be able to give another line clear because a train has not passed through the actual block
Yeah, so
section.
it's one line clear, one train
Yes,
on this.
so it's a one-time deal.
Yeah.
It's a line clear. Okay, so now Weatherall will call us up.
So that's Weatherall, so.
Okay, so you're home. That's it. So you're home junction signaler.
Hello, hello, Holby Junction Signal speaking.
Hello, home junction signaler. This is Weatherall signaler.
Hello, Weatherall Signal, go ahead.
Right, Dominic, unfortunately, I didn't clear my section signal before I give you train intersection. So I'm going to have to cancel off that class 1, which was 1 Whiskey 10, and I'm going to re-offer it back on.
Okay, so you're going to cancel 1 Whiskey 10 and re-offer 1 Whiskey 10 to me.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Holby Junction out.
Okay, so now we need the bell code now to be able to cancel the train.
Yes.
Okay, quite easy. This is quite an easy. The delegates, mate, they will do this regularly. They will do this quite a lot. They will do it on the up main with it, and they will give signs and go, oh no, right, I'm going to have to cancel off and then offer it, re-offer it back on. We can do this because the train hasn't entered the actual block section, or it hasn't, so we know the reason why it's out of train line. We wouldn't be able to do this if we went to give a line clear, and for whatever reason, we wouldn't be able to clear our set. We can't just cancel it and offer it back on again. We can't do that. We would have to allow the train to come through the section of caution.
Yeah.
So now what we can do, because their systems basically tell us something, then well, hang on a minute, why are you trying to, why are you trying to let another train in when, things so. But now this is just a simple one. So basically, Weatherall are going to give us 1 bell.
I will respond with 1 bell.
Yeah, and then
3-5.
3-5
being cancelled.
Has been cancelled, okay? Okay, so now we're going to drop our needle down to normal.
Our needle to normal.
Okay, and now we're going to operate our welling.
So I'm going to wind the welling, and for this, it's a training welling, so it's slightly different.
So it's a lot quicker than what it is in the box.
So it's flipped across the training line straight away to protect the system. I'm watching that end coming back up in that little window, so it's almost back up. There it is.
There we go.
Needle restores to normal because I'm pegged at normal.
Yes. So now it's resetting.
Yes.
It's resetting. So now what we're going to do is we're going to re-offer the train back on.
So now I'll respond again with 1 bell.
So now you will do again the 3.4.1 check, but we've already done that.
That lever's already out, locking the frame. So 4 bells, so I'll respond with 4 bell back. And accept that, with line clear, and he's got a line clear.
So now Weatherall will clear their section signal,
Okay.
which they've done correctly now, what they should have done in the first place. And then they will give you train intersection.
So I will respond with 2 bells and across the train line.
Yes.
And I have a train line.
Yeah. And that's it. And now that train is in the actual block section. Coming towards us. So that's how usually the well will get used. It'll mostly be due to signal error. Okay, it happens quite a lot.
Do you teach the signallers the difference? I mean, because this is the thing with S&T know one thing.
Yeah.
Signallers know one thing. Do you teach them the difference between 1 line clear, 1 pull, and 1 line clear, 1 train in regards to distance signals?
Regards to the distance signals.
Right. We have a 1 line clear, 1 pull for starting signals.
Right, okay, yeah.
1 train through the section, otherwise wind out the welling.
Yeah.
With distance signals,
right,
you can have the ability to pull that signal, could be 3/4 mile distant, and it's not fully off.
Right. 'So
So we need to pull that almost back, adjust it, pull it again, and so forth.
yeah.
With 1 line clear, 1 pull, 1 train through the section, otherwise wind out the welling. But there can be a problem if a train approaches that signal and he sees the distance going on and off.
Yes.
He doesn't know the signalman's adjusting it, putting it back and forth. So in some circuits we have a one line clear, one train, where it'll allow you to pull it as many times as you want, put it back until the train hits the approach track and then locks the distance in whatever position it is.
Yeah, so approach locking.
Basically approach locking, yes. But it just gives you that signal and that ability to carry on adjusting it until, there's a train approaching it, I no longer want that signal to throw that signal on and off.
We don't really teach them out here, mate. We don't. Basically, what we say is we obviously tell them what the winders are, tell them what, you know, we try to anticipate. So basically, if the weather, if we know it's hot, we know metal expands. So we know that unless it's a colour light, okay, it's going to be on a wire. If it's a semaphore, it's going to be on a wire, so it's going to struggle. So what we teach them to do is, mate, see what the weather's like, see what it's like, just test, you can test pull it, no problem. Okay, anticipate if that's not being used for a while, to be there all day, it could be quite slack. On the reverse side, when it's quite cold, it contracts. So say you may have to adjust it. If your signal's really hard to pull, then a lever's really hard to pull, then adjust it out. But what we do say to you though, if it is too difficult to pull, don't pull it. Simple as, don't pull it. There's marks in lockers, in boxes where levers, people are going to go through windows and stuff like that. Because I had one at Hellsby where it put me, it put me through the desk and that because it snapped.
Greenfield, that's how the signal at Greenfield a few times.
I'm sure there's a signal, one of my delegates were going to a distant signal that they don't even pull. They literally, they don't pull it, they just leave it on. Because a distant signal is not too bad. A distant signal is a pain if it's stuck in the off position. Because you cannot replace your home signal with your distant signal, I'm afraid. Overall contact. So it's not distant contact, it's not gonna. So then, literally, it was cleared all the thing, we're not going to keep the line clear, and all that. So they very rarely fail in the off position. Very, very rarely. I've never had one fail on me in the off position. But yes, but we don't just teach that. We'll teach them when they can and cannot cancel the train, when they can and cannot ask for another line clear. Basically, that is what we will teach them.
So as I remember, 3 5s cancel, 5 3s re-describe. I noticed there's again, region to region, area to area, so many little differences on. For instance, 3-1, I remember, is a diesel passenger stopping service. 313 is the Buxton train. It was the Buxton train.
So some of the guys go to Stockport and that they have about 4 or 5 where they're not stopping it. You know, a certain bell code where they're not stopping a thing, and that's what we always try and stress to them in the IST, mate, where we teach them the rule book. We teach them what the rule book says. There's the special box instructions basically supersedes what the rule book says. So I may say to you, like, you do this. You may go to your box and they may say, no, we've got an instruction here.
We do that.
All boxes are different. That's why I say to them, signalers. No matter where you go, signal. However, the way the box is run, you cannot just turn up to a signal box and just start signaling trains. You need to be passed out on that box because the different box works. And I was a Lutheran, so I covered a lot of different boxes. So for me, the most important thing was not signaling the trains. It was the box quirks. It was how long does the section take? I always say to the guys, it's really important knowing how long your section is, knowing what the other boxes have going on. Because if you've got a failed train, cancel it straight because then they may have waiting for the train section. Exactly, So stuff like that, maybe this is what on the frame is what. Well, I mean, me as a trainer, that is what I like them to know, like them to make sure they're comfortable with and all that, because again, knowing what's on your area, knowing if you've got bridges, what you've got red bridges, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Knowing where your crossings are, knowing where your usual crossings are. Again, it's important that helps them with the day-to-day run of the box.
So this is the actual front-end package of the simulator. And do you want to just take us through how this works?
Yeah, so this now is how we interact with the panel, how we put trains onto the system. So we want to move the train. So say now I've got a couple of trains there what I moved earlier. So I want to just get rid of them, just disappear them. So now I want to run a train from Weatherall to Gatetown. So basically move there. So we'll put it in. So we'll do it. So it's coming from Weatherall and we'll just put a head code in, 1 whiskey 1 2. So 1 there, and then now that train is there. So we can use that to follow the train, we can use that to stop it, we can use that to slow it down. There's a lot of different things we can do with it. So when we want to get this now train, so this is basically at Weatherall. So when we want to get the train in, we're going to speed this up a bit, otherwise it goes really slow. Okay, so we'll click there, signal will clear.
Ah, yes, it's moving
we'll click
through.
there,
See that?
and we will click there. Now this is, so if we see on the panel here, so this signal now will be Whiskey Alpha 16. This is Weatherall section signal.
Okay.
So until you give a line clear, that signal will not clear. But we can, obviously, say if we want to spat the signal or we want to, so we can then wait till it comes up on top of it. We can then green flag it. Okay, so if we green flag it, that means that now it's past the signal of danger.
Yes.
Okay.
So you could effectively simulate a failure of his starting signal at Weatherall as well there.
Yes, yeah, we can simulate any failure anywhere. Like today, I was running assessments where we were doing spads. So I was spadding the in-home signal, stuff like that, so the guys could interact with it. So here we've got Weatherall, Gatestown and Stopham. So basically you've got 3 blocking the gates there, we've got 3 blocking the gates here. Here we've got the GSMR, this is how we interact with the GSMR, so I'll switch it on in a minute. But so basically it will simulate the box GSMR. There's all the trains what I've interposed in. Yeah. So say if we want to call one whiskey 10, it's actually not switched on. So we just go instant call and we will call it. But it's on.
Ah, yes. The GSMR, for those who don't understand, the Global Signal Mobile for Railway is the telephone system on the end there that also can pass messages to drivers and trains and back and forth between signals and control centres.
So we can do, I'll get rid of that train on. So on here we can also simulate failures with the equipment. So we can simulate point failures. So lever failures, point failures. We can simulate the tail lamp not working.
Oh yes.
We can simulate train failure. So block bell, we can fail the block bells. The instrument failure or actual bell failure. TPWS, so we've got the safe protection warning system on 3, 6 and 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 3 here. We can also fail track circuits, right or wrong side. So wrong side track circuit failure would be that there's a train there, but the track circuit's not like that. We always want on the railway everything to fail right side. That means it's failed and it's most restrictive. Yes. When it fails wrong side, it's doing something it's not doing something what it should be doing. Yes.
And for S&T purposes, for those who don't know the difference between wrong side, there's 2 categories. It's wrong side protected and wrong side unprotected. So for instance, let's say for instance on points you had a reverse when it was normal, that'd be a wrong side failure, but you can also have protected, so you can have no indication. Now you don't know if the points have failed out on the ground and aren't detecting, well technically it'd be a right side failure, but if you went and then realised that the reverse relay was up and the points were normal, that would be a wrong side failure. If you could then clear the signal, that would be a wrong side unprotected because you cannot protect it. So that gets one level above in the category of how things go.
Yeah, so we can speed them up. Speed it up there, we can speed up as much as we want, so we can get it to go rapid if we need it. Yeah, so this is I can zoom in. So this is basically the layout. So we'll have the layout there, that's for stopping, that's for Gatestown, there, and it's pretty much the same. So we can have like 10.
So technically you can actually loop the train back on itself.
You can loop the train back on itself, mate, yeah.
Right, so you just keep the signal going for hours and hours.
Yeah, but I mean it's easy just to interpose. We do have pre-programmed timetables in, but
yes,
I tend not to use them. It's easy to just put my own code in. And then we have the constraints, obviously all the SPTs. We've got House Farm, user weight crossing, and we've got Home Farm as well. And we've also got Belston HBC. So and then we've got use call text pretty much.
That's them crossings just there, you can see, and also the level crossing there. And again, for those who probably aren't aware of it, as you can see, this is a barrier crossing, and the barriers are labelled. So the YO is the up, offside, Y for up, O for offside, N for near side, and on the down we have the Zs. So the way I remember that is getting your head down, you're doing Zs. So the ZO, Zn, so you've got the near side and offside crossing there as well.
And then we have the crossing controls there for the Belston crossing.
Now, Belston, am I right? Belston is a barrier crossing?
Belston is an automatic half barrier.
Automatic half barrier, yes, there's only half the barriers there.
So that runs basically with treadles with the passenger train. We have them not much interaction with the automatic car fires.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically now what we're going to do is we're going to close out. This is locked by the block, so it's 557. We need to send other signals to tell them.
557 is the closing code. Is it 755 the opening?
755 is where it's not locked by them. So basically, we're just going to close the box.
Right.
We're not going to clear our signals.
Yep.
So 555 is what we use to open up the box.
Right.
Okay. So now we're going to close. So we've got no more trains. So basically, I'm going to check. Not mandatory, but we'll check. We'll phone up Weatherall, we'll phone up Gagetown, okay, and say, stop them. We would just phone them up and tell them because there's no one here to move any points or anything like that, so we don't really have to. We close out to them, but we don't have to send them the bell codes, okay? So we'll do 557 now, okay, to Gagetown. So we'll call attention, okay, and we will do. Okay, so they will give us one beat. So they will give us one beat back, and then they will go to line clear.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do the same now with Weatherall. Call attention, they respond. They will just do one beat on there.
On Weatherall?
On Weatherall, one beat, okay, and then go to line clear.
Line clear.
Okay, no, you switched it too much there, but yeah. There you go. So now what they've done is that they're letting us clear our signals. So we'll just, doesn't really matter which side we do first, okay? So now, okay, and then we need the 9 FPL, lock 8 points. Obviously this isn't the correct way to pull this, just because they can pull like colour lights,
yes.
so it's not too bad, but obviously if these were real semaphore signals.
So that's all your signals in both directions on the up?
Yes. So now what we will do is one beat
On there?
One beat to there, so Weatherall will now one beat.
Weatherall, one beat.
And then we'll respond 557. Okay, so now they know. Same with Gagetown. Okay?
Gagetown complies back, one beat.
So now they respond.
557.
You don't have to respond with the one beat, you just respond with 5. Okay, so now
we can close the box out.
So now, what we have to do now is Gagetown, basically what's happened now is we've taken our box out of the equation. The actual block section now extends from Whiskey Alpha 6 to Whiskey Alpha 16, sorry, to Golf November 8.
Yes.
And then from Golf November 9 to Whiskey Alpha 6. Okay. It's extended now through, so basically it's become one big
And just
section.
like most signal boxes that close out, once you close the box, it takes the indications out because there's no point having the electricity there. And also if there's a power failure, because it may be a box in the middle of nowhere, say for example like Chapel on Frith, if there's a power failure, we'll never know and indicators will be screaming away all night at us.
Yes. So also what that does now is close, so it closes the connection between us with the block bells.
Yes.
So now you will hear, if this was a real box now, you would hear in the background 16 bells.
Yes.
And then they would then test.
And that 16 bells is the boxes testing the bell.
Yeah, testing equipment. So and then they would then test for line clear, test the chain on line, make sure that they're talking to each other now. Yes. So now what we would do is speak to Frod in this way, because you used to close out to Frod. Speak to Weatherall and Gagetown, make sure they're speaking to each other. Yeah, they're speaking to each other, great. We would then phone stop them, tell them that we're closed out.
Yes.
Okay, so then we're closed out.
And you can sign a book and go home.
Sign a book, go home. If it's a night time, if it's cold, leave the heat on. For the next guy to come in the morning.
That used to be a good one, Dizzle.
Okay. And that is closing the box.
That's very simple. Would you want to go through opening the box?
Would you like to go through the opening, okay? So basically you come in now, we'll turn trust on, check, see if we've got any change coming through. Okay, we would then phone up Weatherall, and say, have we got any trains coming? And say, no, no trains coming. Say to gate start, any trains coming? No, no trains coming.
Yep.
Happy days, okay? So now, we would...
Sorry, in case you've all come back in, we can check that everything's still there from the night before.
Yes, we would then... They would respond.
So that is gates down?
Yes.
That's 555.
Yeah. Needle to normal.
Needle to normal.
And then
And that is weather all.
that is gates down.
So it's gates down?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm thinking that was 16.
16, yeah.
So we're testing to make sure everything works.
Yes. Okay. And then
And bomb bell response. 555 again.
okay, needle.
And the drop needle to normal.
And then
I've got all
16.
16, so I'll respond back to 16.
okay. Yeah, happy with that?
Yeah. And
So then now, stop them, phone call to stop them to say that we're opened
Yeah.
up. Or we could send them the 555.
Yeah.
Send them on. But again, it's not locked, we literally will call. And that was opening and closing.
It's a pretty simple system there.
Yeah.
It's checking that there's nothing coming,
Yeah.
putting your signals back to danger to
Yeah.
check trains, then you're going through the process of opening the box up, testing the bells afterwards to make sure everything works correct, and then finally everyone knows that they're talking to you, not to each other.
That's correct.
Would you use the phone after that? Yes or no? There's no point because you've already opened up, haven't you?
You phone up beforehand.
Right,
You
yes,
phone
of
them up.
course.
When you get into the box, you'll phone them up and say, look, have I got anything coming?
Is there anything in section? Yes.
Anything in section, anything in, you know, then if not, happy days.
It always reminds me, Disney Signalbox, and I never got quite to the bottom of it. Disney Signalbox had closing out levers. Now, I know where they are with a colleague. They're about so high, and what they used to do is physically lock the locking. I think it locks the crossovers. I'll have to check with one of your signals
Right,
actually,
yeah.
to know what it is. There were a lever that went from open to closed.
Right, okay.
There was one on the up and there was one on the down, but I know the signaller who will tell me the answer to that question. But that was an interesting little quirk. That was on books and like.
They do, mate. They have, I had my Ellesmere port, which was a brown and white lever, which when you put anything into the loop or anything like that, it literally, you use that. That was like, it made sure everything was in the correct position,
Yeah.
this lever. And it was saying, again, all boxes, you know, they all have little
Yes,
quirks
little
where,
quirks.
you know.
A lot of mechanical boxes. I mean, Dinting was a good example. Dinting, it was mechanical points. They motorised the points to clamp blocks, but they maintained the levers in the interlocking, so you had half blue, half white for the old-facing point blocks. We still had to clear them to set the route because they're triangle. So yes, is this all that you do in the training school, or is there other thing? I mean, do you do track circuit block somewhere else? Or?
We do track circuit block up in Preston.
Up in
So we do
Preston.
that on the NX panel up in
Is
Preston.
that purely because the West Coast main line is track circuit block?
No, you see, the guys who come to the actual block training school, they're literally mostly they go into absolute block. However, they may be called a fringe box, and they may be working to a box that has TCB. So they need to have an insight in, say, track circuit block signaling. I've got a couple of guys who are actually going to NX panels now, so I will work a lot closer with them because I know they're going to an NX panel, so that is what they're going to be doing. But we do have dedicated, we have AB, we have NX, and we have VDU signalling schools. So you can get upskilled from AB to TCB, VDU and NX. Okay, you cannot get upskilled from NX and VDU to AB. You have to come and do the full course, because even though it's the most basic form of signalling, it's the most difficult one to learn.
So it's on rules
all
and
the
regulations.
bell codes, all of it involved in that. It's a lot of things to take in. So,
is there anything special as regards the Royal Train?
So the Royal Train, basically, that goes where it's booked to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's we basically don't really talk about the Royal Train.
I know the feeling, yes.
With anyone. So
yes.
yeah, the Royal Train. I always tell the delegates, if you know the Royal Train, don't tell a lot. Again, it's like we carry a lot of stuff, stuff on the railway. It's like the recent trains that we don't talk to them. I say to the guys, look, don't talk about the job and stuff like that. It's the old saying, the walls have ears, don't they?
That's about 34 years of experience of not talking about that.
Yeah, but we do carry all kinds.
I gather from some scenarios you do problems with cars.
Yes, we do. Cars on the line for the obstructions and stuff like that. We do, yeah. So there's a lot. It's very intensive on the simulator.
How long do the signallers normally take? Say if someone was to come off the street with no knowledge, how long would it of course take them through?
11 weeks. So it's an 11-week course, yeah.
Pure classroom?
So it's pure, yes, pure classroom. So it's 11 weeks, and then basically they leave me. They go to their LOMs, their OMs, and then they train their box.
So they'll take them to a signal box that they think they're going towards, and they'll have some shadow training with the signals.
So basically they will pass out their box. They will get ruled by the LOM and by the OM. Yeah, and then they will go and train their box basically. We call it they're the bread and butter, what they're going to be doing, on a day-to-day basis.
Where's the furthest signal you've had in the training school?
I had them from like South Coast, or I may have had them from Brendan or Ben. I had two guys on the last course that were from down by Essex, round the way.
So it's fair. Does all the training schools share the candidates?
Yes, we have like an overlap, whereas like when I first started this, they had two schools that needed finishing, so they asked me to finish them. So yeah, we do. We work alongside York basically. We follow York's lead, if you will. So yeah.
Do you ever have any S&T?
We have a couple of people who are S&T, which is good. See, it's a bit of a head start because the knowing just how we talk on the railway, the little thing, it can be quite daunting when they first come. If they've got no railway experience.
It's good to get that idea how you work, how we work.
And just how we talk, different words for things, or where we'll say something, and the people who don't know, we're like, oh, what's that? I have to explain to them. Let's just say to you, there's never a stupid question. Yeah. Just because other people know it.
Could be a question of safety, you have to answer.
Exactly. You know. I always say to you, the guarantee, if you're thinking it's a stupid question, there's probably 2 or 3 people thinking the exact same thing.
Yes.
So,
I like the layout of it. Like I said, I remember this when it was bits and pieces, and I've seen the one at York, which is very similar but in the large training school. I think I've seen one at another place as well, I can't remember where that was. So altogether, how many of the absolute block simulators there are there?
I am not too sure. In York, I think there's about 8 or 9 of them.
In
Westwood, there's maybe 3 or 4, I think.
Wow.
We've got one in Preston, we've got one, I'm sure we've got one in Wigan, there's one in Carlisle as well.
So York tends to be the main centre of the country.
Yeah, so basically now we've gone to route trainers, so basically it's just an extension of what's happening in York.
Yeah.
It's the exact same course, but it's done on the route, it's done locally, rather than, we go to
So
York,
for the signallers that are just coming in off the street, they would work as a class together, but then when you're doing your assessments on signallers, that's a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, so I don't do assessments on actual existing signallers. I literally train the new starters, or not necessarily new starters, anyone who needs to go through the actual block course. The LOMs that they do run high risk sims on their guys.
So even the operations managers, they come from time to time to refresh themselves.
Yeah, they can come from time to time. They usually I'll be honest with you, there may be others dotted around in the northwest. I just know the ones in Carlisle. Pretty sure there's one in Wigan, there's one here, and there's one in Preston.
There's what fair amount
that we utilise, And I say there's quite a few up in EDM, the ones who maintain and run them all for us and all that. So.
Is EDM the company?
Yeah. So they run everything for us.
So I'd just like to say a big thank you here to Steve Johnson and all the training help that I've had here at Hornbury Junction here in Manchester, and also to the operations staff of the North West here for helping us out. Thank you very much, sir. It's been most appreciated.